Hey guys, welcome back to Heart Breathings. I am so excited, ridiculously excited to show you guys my notebook collection today. So I have mentioned this on a couple videos before, but I have been hoarding beautiful notebooks. I cannot help it. Every time I go to the store and I see a beautiful notebook, I want to buy it, but then I have a hard time sometimes filling them up because it's like, oh, it's too pretty. I don't want to ruin it by filling it up. But I realize how ridiculous that is, but I know it's not a problem only for me. I know that a lot of people feel this way about their notebooks. So I thought I would not only show you guys my notebook collection today, but also tomorrow I'm gonna have a video for you on 30 plus ways to actually fill up your notebooks. And I'm gonna be introducing a notebook challenge for 2019 where I am challenging myself to fill up an entire notebook. It doesn't matter which one it is, just I'm filling up notebooks next year, one a month, and I'm gonna be giving away at least one a month. And if you wanna have some idea of how many notebooks I'm hoarding in my house, I could do this for 5 years straight and still not be done with notebooks. So I might be giving away 2 a month next year just to kind of get rid of them. And I am going on a notebook hiatus. I will not be buying any new notebooks in 2019 until everything is gone. So, all right, here we go. I am going to show you guys my notebook collection. So right now my entire craft desk is covered in notebooks. So hopefully I don't drop anything, but I'm going to start off with ERIN CONDREN notebooks because they are some of my favorites, and everything you see in this video, some of them have been filled out or they've started to be filled out. Some of them are brand new, or some of them I've had for years and just never touched. And then I also have some that I'm not showing you because they're basically the same as the ones that I have. Some of the ones that I have. So I've got a lot of these ERIN CONDREN notebooks. They have the ERIN CONDREN coil that we know and love from the ERIN CONDREN planner. And then they have the removable covers that you can switch out. And they also usually come with stickers in the back. So something like this. And you can get them either in dot grid, which is like this one right here, which is it's kind of a wide dot grid. They're not very close together. So that's probably the only, or one of the unfortunate things about this one. You can also get it in lined, which this is just regular lined, and it comes with a gray border at the top and usually gray stickers at the back, but I think that I pulled those out of here. And then another option is that you can get, this one's almost completely full. Actually, I did a good job with this one, but you can get this one which is like a task list on the side. So it's got different colors at the top, and then you've got just a full page of lined, another half page of lined, and then this little quarter page here has sort of a checklist to it. And this is the kind that I use probably the most, and it also comes with stickers, but I've used them all in this one. But it has different colored stickers like you can see here. That I've used most of them already. A lot of times I just pull that stickers out of the back so that I can use them. So like I said, this one is used up almost completely, but I love the cover. And since you can change them out, I could put this cover onto my ERIN CONDREN planner. And then I've got this one, which I'm also currently using for YouTube notes. But you can get either a black coil that you pay extra for, which on the notebooks is really kind of superfluous because it's $10 for the coil, which makes the notebook very expensive. The platinum or silver one, rose gold, and gold. I don't have any gold notebooks, but I did splurge for this one, which is my Heart Breathings YouTube notes, for the rose gold coil. And unfortunately, it really tarnished. So I don't recommend ERIN CONDREN's rose gold coils unless they've fixed them. I bought this a couple of years ago. I just don't recommend it. And the larger ones come in the same kind of configurations, except they have quotes at the bottom. Actually, the smaller ones may have quotes too, I'm not sure. But they also have the big sticker sheet in the back. And like I said, you can change out the covers, which is kind of cool. One of the biggest complaints that I see about ERIN CONDREN notebooks, they're super sturdy. The paper quality is really nice, but for $15 or $20, you don't get very many pages inside. they could probably, for not that much, like add 20 pages to this with the coil. And I don't know why they don't, but that's my biggest complaint about them, is you go through them pretty quickly. But since I have so many notebooks, I really don't mind it. I just like having pretty notebooks. But if you're buying one and you're going to make the investment, I would either wait until they're on sale, or I would just use it for a special occasion, because you know that it's not going to have a ton of pages in it. But I have several different designs here. So I have 3 of the big ones. One of them is currently being used, and then I have several of the smaller ones. So those are just the regular ERIN CONDREN coiled notebooks. And then I've got this ERIN CONDREN hardcover notebook. I got this in one of the seasonal surprise boxes, and it's got rose gold little asterisk here, and then it just has lined pages with a little flag asterisk at the top. And I really like this notebook. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but I'm planning to fill this out. Definitely this will be one of the ones I fill out, because I think it will be pretty easy to fill out next year. But it's a very pretty notebook. It's an easy one probably to throw in your bag, and it has kind of a soft feel to it. It's a soft touch cover, which is kind of nice also. And they come in tons of different colors. So I think that if you're looking for something pretty and functional that you could like line up on your bookcase, this would be a really good one, because they come in like pink and purple and navy and blue and like tons of colors. So it would be pretty on your bookcase. And then also, this is another thing I got from, I think, the summer seasonal surprise box. It says, "Be a pineapple, stand tall, wear a crown, and be sweet on the inside." And this is just kind of like their petite planner notebooks. I think they used to call them jot journals or something like that. And these are pretty nice. They're just pretty standard, like sewn binding notebooks. Nothing too special about them, but they're pretty nice to also, like, it's a good size to throw in the back of your planner. And it just has a cardstock, kind of a heavy cardstock cover. So those are my ERIN CONDREN notebooks. Another notebook that I have here is this Scribbles That Matter bullet journal. And I bought this several years ago when I was trying to decide what type of bullet journal I wanted to use, back when bullet journaling was kind of my primary way of planning. And I decided to stick with the Look Term 1917, but I have this one, and it's a really nice one. It has a key to it, an index. It has several pages of index, and then it has just kind of, this one has like light blue dots, and every page is numbered. Hopefully you can see that. And it's got a lot of pages in it. Let's see, it's got 185 pages, and then they have a pen test, and that's the only writing I've done in this one, is just doing the pen test. And you can kind of see that there maybe is a little bit of ghosting there, but there's no bleed through with most of the pens that I use. And then I've got a pocket here in the back, and a little pen loop, and elastic with 2 different ribbons here. And even though I've used this for the pen test, it's not something that I will probably use, because I don't do this type of bullet journaling anymore. So this is probably one of the notebooks that I will give away, even though I did use that pen test page. So I have several notebooks that are this size, and it's not an A5 size, but it's comparable. It's just skinnier. So I'm not sure what size you would call this necessarily, but Moleskine has a bunch in this size that they do limited edition ones. So these are 3 different brands. So let me show you the Moleskine. I am a Hello Kitty fanatic. I could probably do a notebook collection video solely on my Hello Kitty notebooks. So anyway, I bought several of these. I have a few more in the closet, and I haven't used any of them because, again, like, scared to use my pretty notebooks. But this one has typical Moleskine paper, which is nicely lined. It's very college ruled, like tight lines. And then it just has extra space at the top, and it has a little, like, in case of loss, please return to. And then other than that, it's just lined all the way through, and has a pocket in the back, which this one has like little Hello Kitty bookmarks, which I think are so cute. I really need to use one of these. This will definitely be one of the ones I'm using next year when I have that challenge to fill up my notebooks, because I just really want to enjoy them. And then it has a red ribbon, which is typical with the elastic closure as well. But these are really nice hardcover ones, and they have all kinds of like special edition. I think they had Star Wars and Game of Thrones, Hello Kitty. So just kind of keep an eye out if you like special edition notebooks. I also have this Harry Potter notebook that is kind of like, feels like a faux leather. And this one is from Insight. And you will very rarely ever see me buying anything brown, but it's Hogwarts, and I just needed to get it because, like, when you open it, look how beautiful this like front images with the deer and the Hogwarts on the lake, and it's just, I don't know, it's so beautiful. And it's got like pictures of Hogwarts, and then the lines are very similar to the Moleskine, even though the paper is not quite as soft. And this is like 200 pages, and then it's got more beautiful in the back with a pocket. Like most of these notebooks tend to come with a pocket in the back, so that's another kind of cool notebook that I love and have not used yet. And then I also have this one from Google that I don't know if it has a brand. I'm sure it's just specially made for Google, but I got this as a gift from my Google rep. And if you're not familiar with my channel, I'm an author and I'm indie published. So I self-publish everywhere, including like Barnes & Noble, Google Play, Apple Books. And my Google rep sent me this, as well as this cool water bottle, which was really sweet of them. And I was like, wow, she must really know me, because they gave me a notebook, which I love. And this one, I don't know what brand it is, but it's very similar. But what I love about this one is that it's bright white paper, and I just really love white paper. So also a pocket in the back and the same elastic enclosure. So those are all the same size of notebooks, but they're all just a little bit different. So here's another couple of notebooks that are pink and pretty from two different stores, but very similar in style. So this one says Stay Focused and Extra Sparkly in holographic foil. And I got this as a gift from a friend, and it came from Paper Source, and it's very, very cute. But I will tell you, my only complaint about this type of notebook is, if you can see, the lines are so far apart, and it kind of drives me crazy. It feels like it's made more for little kids that can't write small, and maybe it is, because it does look kind of like little kitty, but I love it. It's just, I don't know about really thick lines. It's not really my thing. So this may be one that I give away, but it's so cute. This one is from Michael's. It says, Follow Your Dreams, They Know the Way. And this is only $5 at Michael's. And it's, whereas the other one was a hardcover, this is a very soft, like flexible cardstock cover. And the lines are still a little bit wide, but not as bad as the last one. And it has a lot of pages, like probably 200 pages. And it has a ribbon to keep your place. And for $5, even when you go in, you can use like 40% off coupon and only get this for like $3. This is such a great deal, and they have lots of different designs. So if you're looking for a really cute notebook to journal in, check out Michael's. So earlier this year, when we had to evacuate for the latest hurricane, we went down to Orlando and went to Disney World. And actually we went to SeaWorld and Disney World. And after SeaWorld, everybody else was like chilling in their hotel room, and I went shopping because there was a Papyrus and a Louis Vuitton and like tons of cool stores there. And I didn't buy anything at Louis Vuitton because it's a little bit out of my price range, but I did get some stuff at Papyrus. They had a buy one get one free notebook sale, so I got these two notebooks. This one kind of has a gold foil, or a rose gold foil on the cover, and it just kind of reminded me of like The Great Gatsby or something. It has that sort of, I don't know what you call it, Art Deco or something. And it has this type of binding that's like a glued binding, sewn and glued. And I love these bindings because the paper tends to lay really flat, and I just absolutely adore it. I'm going to show you some other ones that have this similar binding, and it's blank pages. And I thought this would be really cool for art journaling, or for like doodling, because I've been trying to like practice doodling kawaii stuff. And so this would be kind of, I think, a cool journal for that. And I like how it lays flat and it has just the blank pages. So it's pretty cool. This is Paper Destiny, and I got it from Papyrus. The other one I got from Papyrus is this one that says Good Juju in the holographic foil. And this is from Studio O, which I'm going to show you some other ones that I have from Studio O. But this one of the reasons I loved it was because it said Good Juju, which I thought would be kind of cool, because I keep a manifestation journal where I only put like happy thoughts and just like things that I want to come true. And I do a lot of what's called scripting in those journals. And so I thought it would be kind of cool to have one that said Good Juju on the cover. It lies pretty flat for this kind of notebook, and it has sort of a faux leather cover that's not really hard, but it's kind of like a medium weight. And then on the edges of the paper, it has silver. So it's really pretty notebook. So I got those from Papyrus just this year. Since I was just talking about Studio O, these are Studio O Deconstructed notebooks, and they sell them at Barnes & Noble and also Books A Million and probably other places as well. But I first fell in love with these in this big size, and this is not quite 8.5 by 11, but it's bigger than like a Moleskine notebook. But I absolutely loved these notebooks, and one of the saddest like notebook moments of my life is that these are the kind of notebooks that I used to exclusively, whoops, I got a piece of paper in there, that I used to exclusively journal in. And I loved them because they're nice big paper. The lines are not really tight, but they're not super wide either. But I love having this hard cover with the super lay flat binding. Like, you cannot beat that lay flat. It's just incredible. It's perfectly flat. And this has that same kind of like sewn and glued binding. If anybody knows what that's called, let me know, as that other one I just showed you with the rose gold on it. But I loved these notebooks, and I put a lot of washi tape and glued stuff in, and they would get really, really big, and I just loved them. And then one day I went into Books A Million and I needed to get a new one, and they didn't have them anymore. And it turns out they got discontinued. And I'm telling you, if I had known, this is probably why I hoard notebooks. If I had known they were going to discontinue them, I would have bought like 100 of them because I love them so much. And a good friend of mine actually found one left at her Barnes & Noble. So I've been kind of saving it for like 2 years or maybe 3 years, but they do still have their smaller ones. These are their A5 size, and they have a lot of cool designs. And now you'll even see them with, like, if the cover is green, they'll have green along the edges, and they're really cool and they lay flat. But I just don't like this size as well as the bigger page. I don't know, I just fell in love with the bigger page. And for some reason, even though the lines are pretty much the same between them, like they're the same width apart, when you only have this much of the page, it just feels like they're wider. I don't know how to explain it, but maybe someday I'll start writing in this. Maybe next year I'll write in this and I'll decide that I love this size. But for now, I just really mourn the loss of this bigger size. It makes me sad. So if you're hoarding a stash of Studio O Deconstructed notebooks in the large size, give me a call. So this is just a fun one that's probably not even there anymore. But I went to Barnes & Noble this year and saw that they had this Jack Skellington one. And I super love it because it's kind of got this plastic cover to it. And then all of these little, I don't know how well you can see that. Let me put it on top of something else. But you see these little tabs? They're just translucent. And when you turn to that page, it shows over the page. And I just thought that was super cool. And I don't really know what I'm going to use it for, but it made me happy when I looked at it and it was on sale. So I grabbed it. Very cute little notebook from Barnes & Noble. And sometimes you really can find a lot of cute notebooks at Barnes & Noble. So while I've got this one here anyway, I'm just going to show you these Moleskine ones. So this is the soft cover Moleskine. I think that's how you say it. I've heard people say Moleskine, but it has an E on the end. So I think it might be Moleskine. Let me know if I'm mispronouncing it. It has this elastic band. These also come in a ton of different colors. And what I love most about these, they don't lie flat quite as well as that Deconstructed notebook, but I did use these for journaling for a couple of years after I lost those, or at least for a year after. I love the paper. It's just really soft. You do get a little bit of ghosting with that, but ghosting never really bothers me as long as it doesn't bleed through. But it has a lot of pages in this notebook, and I just love the paper. It's a little bit off-white kind of color, but the lines are really nice and thin, like very college ruled. And then it comes with a pocket in the back if you want to keep like stickers or like washi tape samples or something in it. So those are cool. I opened this one, but then I didn't write in it yet. And I still have one that is unopened. So I probably will definitely be giving this one away soon. But I love those. And this is similar to composition size. So actually, it looks like it's exactly composition size. So if you're familiar with composition size notebooks, like the kind we get in school and stuff like that, that's the size of this. This is also another Moleskine notebook. And this is just like a cardstock cover instead of the like soft leather kind of cover. And this is more like traveler's notebook style. It has the sewn binding and it doesn't have, I think, quite as many pages in it, but it's the exact same paper. It just doesn't have a full pocket in the back. It just kind of has a little like half pocket and no elastic band. I have a few of these because I got them in a pack of 3 at Barnes & Noble on sale for like only $4, so I couldn't resist it. But my favorite notebooks that are this size are the May Designs notebooks. If you're not familiar with May Designs, they have tons and tons of options. They have, most of these that I've got here are kind of their just basic designs, and you can get them in, you know, like the stripes or the diagonals. You can choose what shape you want, and you can have it say whatever you want, and you can get these in pretty much every color you can imagine, like blue or teal or yellow or pink, whatever. And so I bought a bunch of these last year at Black Friday, and I have gone through quite a bit because I think I bought 10, and now I have like 3 or 4, maybe 5. Yeah, I have 5 left that I haven't used yet. So you get a lot of options when you get the May Designs notebooks. This is the large size, but they also come in a smaller, like traveler's notebook size. Again, just like the Moleskine, it has really nice, like tight college ruled lines, but these are like bright white paper. And I told you I love bright white paper. It just has a sewn binding and probably about 100 pages or something. I don't know, you could find out on their site. It does not have any kind of pocket, and this is just kind of like a cardstock, but it's very textured. It has a nice feel to it. And this is a great notebook for doing like morning pages or journaling in the morning, because you can make it through an entire one of these notebooks in a month or a month and a half. So I've been through quite a lot of them. I have these 3, and then last year at Black Friday, I was actually lucky enough to snag the composition style traveler's notebook from Chic Sparrow. This is super like floppy leather, but I store a lot of my notebooks in here. I've got this one covered because it has the series title for my next big series that I'm going to be writing, but this one has dot grid, and you saw the lines. I think you can also get them blank, and I think you can get them in just regular graph paper. And you can get May Designs notebooks with planners and all kinds of like meal planning and other kinds of inserts. So definitely check out their site, because they have a lot of really cool designs. And, you know, sometimes they'll have floral stuff, sometimes they have hearts, like just hundreds of designs to choose from. So those are pretty cool notebooks. All right, so this next set of notebooks are from Design Works Inc. And I got these again at Barnes & Noble, and they also carry them at Books A Million. I used to live close to a Books A Million. Now I live closer to Barnes & Noble, so that's why I kind of have familiarity with both. But these are really pretty also on your shelf, because they have the gold edges on the side or on the spine, and I just really like that. Plus their designs are really pretty. You can see I have 2 of the blue ones, but I also have this sort of like pink fan, and then the green with stripes, and then this white one with the sort of like petals. These are so nice. They have the same enclosure. I think all of them have this, even though that one wasn't on. And they also have this really nice hardcover. They just don't lie as flat as my original love of those Deconstructed notebooks. So, you know, it's just not quite the same. See how it kind of comes up there? You can see if I hold it this way, it just doesn't lie flat, but you can kind of work it a little bit and it'll lay a little bit better, but it's not perfect. But anyway, they have a perpetual calendar up here at the top where you can circle the month and date if you want. And then all of them are lined, and the lines are the color of usually the ribbon that you have or some other part of the design. So that can be really pretty. So this one has kind of like a brownish gold color, and there's no pocket or anything on the back. And these are $13, which I thought was a pretty good price for a nice sturdy hardcover. And again, I think they would be really pretty on your shelf. So this one I've actually started writing in, and I never finished it. So like I said, next year I'm making a pact with myself to complete notebooks, and probably will start out with some of these that I already started but never finished, because like maybe I used 10 pages of this one, and it's a shame to let it go to waste. So I want to fill it up and then, you know, be done with it. I think it will just feel really good to finish up a lot of notebooks. But if you can see this, it has green lines in it just because this is green also, and then this one will have pink lines and then blue and so on. But I have 5 of these, 2 of which I've started writing in, and 3 are totally bare. So I probably will finish out the ones I started and give some of the other ones away. So these are really pretty, and you can find them at Books A Million. Okay, moving right along. So for a long time before they started doing happy notes, which are their like happy planner notebooks, which just came out this year in 2018. I still was in love with creating notebooks out of my happy planners. And I know a lot of people really enjoy doing this. So what I would do is my favorites are the hard covers. So I would pretty much look for any kind of sales or really good coupons at Michael's. And I picked up pretty much all of the hardcover ones that they have and all of the deluxe covers. And so this has gold. So I, of course, got the gold metal discs to go with it, which is so pretty. And then what I did, well, sometimes what I do is I'll print out things that I buy from Etsy, like different calendars or whatever. Also, like I'm a member of a group called Freshly Implemented with Amber McHugh, and she does this planner every year called the Fresh Start Planner. So I printed it out, and as long as you have the right hole punch for this, you can make this into a notebook of, you know, a course you're taking or workbooks that you're filling out. Another thing that I like to do though is I bought colored dot grid paper that's already like pre-designed that you can just print out. So it's like printable dot grid paper in a bunch of different colors off of Etsy. And so I just print my own dot grid, and then I can make my own notes anytime I want for my happy planner notebooks. And I just absolutely love it. I've been obsessed with it. So anytime I want to make like story notes or anything else, and then of course Happy Planner has their own notes that you can buy, like their own lined paper and different ones. Like here's another set of some of the Happy Planner pages that you can buy. But it's also really easy to just sort of print your own lined paper or your own dot grid paper. You can buy the designs on Etsy, or you can make it yourself if you're savvy with Photoshop. But I just fell in love with doing that. So I have a lot of these. And if you've seen my 2019 planner setup, you know that I also have a lot of the deluxe covers, and I keep like my plotting notes and stuff in those notebooks. But they also came out this year, like I said, with Happy Notes. And the fun thing about the Happy Notes is that they have really pretty tabbed dividers. So they come in 3 sizes. They do, I don't have any of them, but they do come in this bigger size, like the 8.5 by 11. And then this is their like classic size and their mini size. And they just have a lot of really pretty designs. And I love the tabbed dividers because that's one thing I can't really make as easily for myself, though. I mean, I can, but their designs are just so cute. And they come in graph paper, dot grid, and lines, I believe. And they always have fun designs on the edges and just really cute little things. I wish they came with maybe just a smidge more paper, but they do come with the smaller discs instead of the classic. And of course you could always switch that out and put your own discs on it. But they have, like I said, some of these I have already started using as notebooks. So this is, I was putting together a presentation, but this one has the dot grid and you can see the kind of green on there, hopefully, but they have really pretty dividers. And that's what I love most about them. And all of the covers are just this sort of laminated cardstock that's sort of a heavy laminated. And they have, like I said, just the cutest little designs, a lot of like bright colors. This one has polka dots on the spine, and all of them have 3 dividers each. So the only like complaint I have, you see this like gunk on there? I don't know if that shows up or not. Yeah, you can see that. Is they always put these on there. And I know that's part of their branding, but man, it drives me crazy because it has this like gooey gunk on it that they use to keep those like in place. And I hate it because I always have to get Goo Gone or something to pull it off of there, or it leaves this ugly residue where stuff sticks to it. It's my biggest complaint about Happy Planner, but they do it all the time. It's just annoying. But anyway, this one is probably my favorite. She walked in moon dust and stars were sprinkled in her hair. It's so pretty. Moonchild and this beautiful Dreamcatcher. So this one's pretty. I'm definitely going to be using this one next year. So lots of happy notes. And like I said, you can you can make them yourself. You could even make your own laminated covers, but the problem is the Happy Planner punch won't punch through laminated pages. I almost ruined mine figuring that out. So it's hard to make your own covers, but I know that you can if you have a heftier punch. Okay, so you'll notice at this point in the video that I have changed clothes. I lost half of my footage from yesterday, so I'm re-recording this part of the video. So moving on, I have these fringe notebooks. So this is one of the fringe notebooks, and I got this at Home Goods. And just a little quick tip that if you're looking for cool notebooks and you don't want to spend a lot of money, you can check out stores like TJ Maxx, Home Goods, HomeSense is in some parts of the country and maybe in Canada. Just these kind of discount stores that are usually like home type stores often have a stationery section, and they have some cool notebooks. So this one is by Fringe, and this is a pretty cool notebook, and it lays pretty flat. And what I love about this one is it's got a lot of space for writing. The lines are pretty tight, and it also has this little mini line at the top to write your date, and then you've got the whole page to journal, and then you've got a little embellishment at the bottom, and there's no frills or anything to this, but it's about 200 pages with a ribbon, and it's got no pocket or anything in the back, but it's just a lot of space for writing and journaling, and it's sort of a hardcover here, and you will almost never see me, like I said, getting something brown, but because it said Write on it in gold, I really wanted to have this one, and I have 2 or 3 of these that I also picked up at Home Goods at the same time, except one says Write and the others have a couple other sayings on them. But Fringe is a good brand for notebooks. I also have these 2 Fringe notebooks that I picked up at Barnes & Noble. So these are pretty. They're much like floppier covers, like you can tell they're much floppier, but they have really pretty pages, and then the sides of them are that sort of coated in gold or whatever, so they've got sort of shiny sides. These also have ribbons, and their pages are pretty much exactly the same as this one here, except that it doesn't have an embellishment at the bottom. But I like that the lines on these are not super dark, so it's just really nice white paper with sort of green lines, and I think this one's the same. Yeah, so it's kind of like a greenish color lined that is very light and you can hardly see it, but again, it's like you pretty much get the full page to write, and so these are pretty nice, and these also will lay pretty flat. Not perfect, but pretty good. At least they don't flop open when you're trying to, or flop closed when you're trying to use them. So speaking of ones that are fails, so this is probably my biggest notebook fail of anything that I've ever done. So I went to Papyrus a few years ago, and like I said, I've been holding on to a lot of these notebooks for years. Like, this is not a notebook collection that I grew in the last like 10 minutes or in the last even 10 months. This is years worth of hoarding notebooks and just not using them for various reasons. But that's all going to change in 2019. But these are beautiful. They're very big, nice size, like just, I don't know, they seemed very writerly. I thought they would be cool to use. And they have this sort of hard cover that feels like leather. And so I thought these would be really cool. And they were pretty expensive, but they were running like on sale for maybe 50% off. So I grabbed 3 of them because they're pretty, but they were wrapped in plastic. So I didn't open them and really test them out, which was a big mistake. So number 1, if you smell this like fake leather stuff, y'all, it smells kind of like a skunk. And as much as I've had these, like I've had these for at least 4 years, just sitting in my closet, just airing out, whatever, hoping that someday they would stop smelling, but they don't stop smelling. I don't even know what to do with them because, you know, I don't even like to give them away because they smell, and it's so strange. And then even worse, on the inside, this is so tightly bound, like the way the spine is done, that you can't even get like them to stay open. No matter what you do to them, they are just gonna like, okay, so maybe if I like really worked this spine, but I'm telling you, after being closed for a short period of time, you try again and it's gonna flip closed. Like, these are the worst notebooks. These are Papyrus brand. So if you ever run across these, do not buy them. I don't even know how they're usable. I hate to throw them away because they were very expensive. They were probably $35. And like I said, I got them half off, but even then it's like 17 bucks for a notebook, and I got 3 of them. So I've got $50 something invested in these notebooks that I thought I was gonna love, and they're just terrible. So lesson learned, never buy something that's in plastic that you don't check out first. And number 2, you know, make sure it doesn't smell before you buy it. But these were a big fail. I'm not even sure what to do with them, honestly. So these might be harder to see on this black background, but for a little while I had decided I wanted a really nice, tall, like big notebook to start keeping my notes on for all the craft books that I was reading. So like I said, I'm a writer, and so I was reading a lot of books on how to write mysteries, how to edit better. And I would find that as I would take notes, because I do like to highlight and stuff like that, but especially if I'm reading something on an ebook, I like to have notes that I keep that I can just go through and review. So I was trying to find a really good notebook that I could keep all of my notes in, because I kept finding them scattered throughout notebooks. So I bought a few different ones, not really knowing what they would be like until I got them in from ordering them on Amazon. This one is a Leuchtturm 1917, and it's not the one you're familiar with, which is like the bullet journaling one. This is one that's more like a data or research type one. And obviously these pages are so tall, they're hard to even fit into the frame, but the lines are way too far apart for my taste. But what's cool about this is it has a place for a date up here, and then it has sort of this gutter line on the edge of each page where you could write your kind of like annotations for the research you've done or for notes you've taken. This one, typical Leuchtturm, has archival stickers. It has the strap, and then it also has a pocket in the back, and it's just massive. It's really, really big. It's kind of as big as their Master Slim, but it's lined. But I never ended up using it because the lines were too far apart. But what I did end up using was this Series E2 Chemistry Research Notebook. This is something else I got on Amazon. This is more of like your typical notebook page, except they're all lined, and they're just basic lined blue pages, and then they've got the outer band where you would normally like punch your holes or whatever. So I found that this was a really good option for taking notes and being able to mark like the name of the chapter on the outside or the name of the author. So I've taken notes on probably 4 or 5 different books in here, and it's been nice to be able to kind of go back to this one notebook, but obviously I haven't filled it up yet. So need to keep working on putting my craft books in here, but this has been kind of a good notebook for keeping notes on research and stuff like that. All right, so this is a notebook, another thing I got like at Home Goods. This is Ruby by Marami. I don't even know where this came from other than Home Goods, but this one is kind of cool. And like I said, I started these, I have so many notebooks like this, guys, which are like, I was going to make a notebook for new story ideas. So I literally got like 2 pages in, and then I haven't used it. So this will be another one that I hope to finish up and actually use. But this one's cool because it's kind of got like a Neapolitan ice cream flavor to it. It's got white pages, it has the chocolate pages, and then it has strawberry pages. And one thing I love about this notebook is it's got that same kind of binding here. It is covered with tape, but it's that same kind of very lay flat binding that allows the pages to stay really nice and open no matter where you are in the notebook. And I always look for ones like this because I love them. I also just have, like I said, I could do an entire video on Hello Kitty notebooks, so I'm not even going to go through all of these, but I have many kinds of notebooks from Hello Kitty, from this big one that is just plain white pages that are perforated, all the way to these cool designs. I got this, I think, from the Sanrio store. I love these notebooks. I have several of them that just have the bow Hello Kitty and their graph paper inside, and then also just plain blank paper. Or colored paper in the back with a strap. I've got this one, this Gudetama, my friend Jen brought me from Japan. And I've got this one that came from I think this one came from the Loot Crate box, and this one came from Korea. And this one has a little spot for a pen holder, like a pen loop, which is kind of cool. But I have tons of these. I didn't even bring them all out. So I've got lots of little Hello Kitty notebooks like this, and like this one that is kind of a thinner, like maybe a B6. I'm not sure exactly what size that would be, but it has a lot of different styles of pages inside. So I've got lots of Hello Kitty notebooks, and most of these are not written in at all because I just have been scared to use them up. So this is another fringe notebook that I got from TJ Maxx or Home Goods, but they have lots of these that are spiral, and I do like spiral too because they do definitely lay flat. The only problem is when you're writing close to the coil, then it, you know, it can be kind of annoying. You really need to go ahead and turn it over that way so the coil doesn't stick out so high. But I do like the fringe notebooks and the way they have this little mini line up here to write the date. So I've got several of these. This semicolon notebook is another one that I bought when I was looking for something, like I was talking about, to take notes on, like journaling for my craft books. And I thought it was kind of cool. And so I picked it up, not really sure what to expect. But again, my biggest complaint with this notebook is that the lines are just so far apart, and I just don't enjoy writing in those kinds of notebooks. But it has a perpetual calendar at the bottom. It has a little semicolon on every page, and it has this sort of calendar in the front. So you could actually use this as a planner. I'm not sure what people use this notebook for, but the paper feels really cool. It's kind of a textured paper. I haven't used this one at all, but it does come with a bunch of stickers and stuff that you can use. So this would be kind of a cool like research or journal or planner type notebook, but I just never really used it. And it does come with 2 ribbons. A couple other disc bound notebooks that I have that are not happy planner style. This one is an ARC notebook that I actually got in the clearance section of Staples earlier this year, and it was only about, I think, like $1 or $2. It's got this quilted sort of, I don't know, faux leather cover, and then it's got place for like pockets and stuff, and then it just has blank like lined ARC paper inside with a pen loop. And these are most of these kinds of notebooks like ARC and Tool come with mini discs, like really small discs, but you could always switch them out for bigger discs if you wanted to put more paper in them. But I thought this might be a cool one to take like to a conference or something with me because it's pretty small and it was pretty cheap. This one I showed in my 2019 planner lineup because this is my notebook that I'm going to be using for my coaching client meetings. And this is a Tool limited edition. They came in several different colors, but this is pink with rose gold inlays, and I love, love, love it. And then I just put, like, it came again with just like plain black, I think, discs. So I put classic size Happy Planner discs that are the metal rose gold discs. And then I've just filled it with ARC paper that has the lines on it, and it has a pin loop and a, you know, place to put stickers or whatever else. But I love this, but these were very expensive, like maybe $35 or $40. And these were limited edition. They had like black and gold and silver and a bunch of different ones, but I loved this one. So, so beautiful. So I had to have it. All right. So I have 3 stacks remaining to show you guys. And I'm going to run through these pretty quickly, but I have a ton of these basically A5 notebooks because I really love using an A5 traveler's notebook like this one from Chic Sparrow. And so I have bought many different A5 notebooks, and because these generally only have like 20 or 30 pages in them, it's pretty fast to go through them, and I have used a ton. Usually you'll see them with either this one, like for example, has stapled binding, or you'll see them with sewn binding. And so like all of these have staple bindings, but most of these others in the back are sewn bindings. So you'll see them both ways. Most of them have only like 20 to 40 pages in them, and they come in all different like designs, but this just plain black. I just got a big pack of these for pretty inexpensive to use in my traveler's notebook for next year. And it's just dot grid. And I'll be using these next year. And the pen test on this one, you can maybe make it out in the video, but it did pretty well. I even tried some watercolor and stuff on it. So the paper is not too bad on these, and these were like 5 for $10 or something. So I can link those down below, but they were a pretty good deal. I also got lots of different ones, so I don't want to spend too much time on it, but this is a Clairefontaine notebook from JETPENS, and these are only maybe $3 a piece, but they use Clairefontaine paper, which I really, really love Clairefontaine paper. It's very silky, smooth. It's just a beautiful paper. So I've got this one that uses Clairefontaine paper, and then I also have some of the Rifle Paper Company notebooks like this, which also use Clairefontaine paper, and they have really cute designs on them. My friend that went to Korea last year to visit family picked up these ones that are sort of like Hello Kitty or Sanrio. So I've got Gudetama, the Lazy Egg. I've got a Hello Kitty one, and you can see they have designs on the inside, which I always like that when it's not just plain paper and it actually has like Hello Kitty inside. So I've got My Melody, and a cinema roll. So these are all like Hello Kitty and Friends. And these are ones that I've been scared to use because I hate to use them up, but I love them, so I need to use them. This is an Apika, I think is how you say it, notebook that I got from JETPENS. And this was only maybe $2, and it only has, I don't think it says how many pages, but this only has like 20 pages or so in it. So it'll be quick to use, but it's kind of a good paper notebook, simple. Also, I have Kiki K notebooks in A5. This one I've also done a pen test on, but I did it kind of on the wrong side of the page, I think. But this paper holds up really well. I've used up a lot of these notebooks. My only complaint with the Kiki K notebooks is, even though the paper is really great and the designs are really cute, you have to order, if you're in the US, since it's an Australian company, you have to order $150 worth of stuff to get free shipping, and otherwise the shipping is kind of expensive for something so small. So I only get these when I have other things to buy. And the rest of these were things that I found basically at Home Goods or TJ Maxx, and they're just more designs of A5 notebooks. So these are like George Stanley, and they came in like a pack of 3, I think, for maybe $3.99. So very inexpensive notebooks, and lots of cute types of designs and different things you can get. Most of these are lined paper, but like I said, this one's dot grid, which is why I bought it for my current bullet journal. So if you watched my 2019 planner lineup, you've already seen this, but I like to keep several different notebooks in my traveler's notebook, obviously, but some of my favorite notebooks that have gone inside my traveler's notebook are these Tomoe River paper dot grid journals, or A5 notebooks from Goulet Pens. And all I do, since the actual cover for them is very plain colors, is I take scrapbook paper and cut it to size and then just glue it over the top. So I've got that one, and I have another one that's pink back here, and these are almost used up, some of them. So I'll be, you know, replacing them all with these much cheaper black ones for next year. The paper's not quite as nice as the Tomoe River paper, but it's much less expensive because I go through these very quickly. And then I also have a Peter Popper Press Essentials dot grid bullet journal that is much cheaper than the Look Term bullet journal. So like a Look Term bullet journal is like $25, but I got this one because it's much less expensive. It was only maybe $10 on Amazon, and I'm going to be filling this out for my like tarot journal and stuff for next year. So I'll be putting that video up hopefully this weekend. And that will go over on my Sarra Cannon channel, which is linked down below if you're interested in seeing that bullet journal set up. All right, 2 stacks remaining and we're almost done. So on my quest to find the perfect notebooks to replace those you know, Studio O Deconstructed notebooks that got discontinued, I found these Punctuate notebooks at Barnes & Noble, and they're only $10 a piece, and they come in lots of different colors and designs. They have the strap that goes to, you know, to close it, and they all have a pocket in the back as well. And the lines on these are pretty nice. They're not perfect, like they're maybe not quite as close together as like a Moleskine journal, but they are pretty good. A lot of space to write. One thing I love about these is that each of these journals has different colored lines inside based on either the color of the elastic or something in the design on the front. So like this one has blue lines, which is kind of cool. They don't lay completely flat, but if you kind of work them a little bit, they do pretty much lay flat, and they're pretty easy to work with. The paper is pretty good. You do get some ghosting, but you get a lot of pages in here for $10, and sometimes you can find them on sale. And like I said, one thing that's cool about them is they come in a ton of different designs. So I bought a lot of them for fear that once I started using them, they would discontinue them. But they do still have these, even though I bought a lot of these years ago. But I thought this is another kind of cool collection that you could have a bunch on your bookshelf, and they would look pretty cool together with lots of colors. So I probably, when I bought these, I probably bought like 10 or 15 of them at once because I got them on sale, and I have made my way through about half of them and still have half remaining. But this is another type of notebook that I recommend using for like morning pages or daily journaling, and that's the Essential digital journal from Punctuate, which is made for Barnes & Noble. Dun, da, da, da. And the final set of notebooks that I have here are these just basic spiral notebooks. They're your basic spiral notebooks, but they're prettified. So two different brands that I super love are Bando, the rough draft notebooks in the full size. They do come in smaller size too, but I'm always all about like having a full page, and Kate Spade. So I think I have one open. So this is the Bando notebook I'm going to be using next year for my meeting notes. And it's just so beautiful with this floral pattern. Like the coil, the spiral is really good quality. And this is another one that I got at Home Goods. Like it says compare at $8, but if you buy these at full price, like at Barnes & Noble, this one doesn't have the price on them, but if you buy these at Barnes & Noble, they're $16. So go and look for them at Home Goods, because sometimes you can find them for only $5 or $6. And they're very good. They have white paper. The paper's like nothing super special, but they, you know, it doesn't bleed through. It's pretty good paper. And then I love that in the middle of these notebooks, they always have like a little quote. Sometimes it says you're straight up magic, or it's all going to happen for you, which is kind of just a nice little treat. I also like that in the front, they have a little pocket on the, you know, two sides of the front page, and they're just good quality notebooks with the nice designs and really pretty covers. So this one that I have has kind of like a green foiling. I'm not sure if you can see that. That's very pretty. I've got two of these that I got all of these from like Home Goods or TJ Maxx. I can't remember. This one came from Marshall's, but discounted because I hardly ever pay full price for anything. And like I said, I've been collecting these for years. And then I have about 6 of these Kate Spade notebooks, and I only grabbed 2 of them to show you guys. But my favorite one is this one that says the world was hers for the reading, because obviously I'm an author and I love it. But there's just something about using up a notebook that you love. It should give me joy, but sometimes it gives me anxiety to be like, oh, I'm going to use it and then I won't be able to get another one. And I'm just determined to break free of that with all my planner supplies, all of my notebooks this year, that, you know, I'm not going to buy new stuff as much next year. I'm really going to just buckle down and use the things that I have and really enjoy them, because you know, I have, like I said, over 100 notebooks, which I know sounds ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And it's time to use them up, to give them away so that other people can enjoy them. And I think it'll be kind of a fun experiment. So in 2019, I am going to do a little bit more about this challenge, hopefully tomorrow or Thursday when I get a chance to post. But I'm going to be running a notebook challenge where I am challenging myself to fill up 1 complete notebook every single month. So that'll be 12 completed notebooks throughout the year. I'm going to be filling them a variety of ways. And then I'm also going to be giving away at least 1, if not 2 notebooks every single month here on my channel. So if you're interested in that, and if you're interested in joining me for the notebook challenge and using up some of your own notebooks, I'll be doing updates every month on how it's going and how I filled my notebook. And if you're interested in winning some free notebooks because you like some of the ones that you've seen, then comment down below and let me know which notebooks out of the ones you've seen today that you liked the best, that you would love for me to offer for giveaways. And you know, be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you'll be notified whenever that next giveaway comes up from me. I'll be running the first giveaway coming up in the next couple of days. I'm not sure if I'll put it up tomorrow or Thursday. And I'm going to also give you guys 30+ ways to fill up notebooks, like ideas for how to fill them up, because I spent an entire afternoon just brainstorming cool ways to fill up your notebooks. So look for that video in the next couple of days. I hope that you enjoyed this, another super long video from me. I've also got some videos coming up before the end of the year on why I write in Google Docs, what are some of my favorite book recommendations for authors, and also, like I said, that suggestions on 30+ ways to use up your notebooks, along with a notebook giveaway. I'm going to be doing a planner review for the Clever Fox and also giving one of those away here on the channel before the new year begins. And I'll be doing some January like bullet journal setup and stuff like that over at Sarra Cannon, youtube.com/Sarra Cannon. So follow me over there. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.